All right, Garth, so we just welcomed in our audience of pre-sales influencers. So that includes architects, designers, and cabinet planners. So my question to you for this audience is, what's something that you wish that pre-sales influencers understood earlier in the project process?
That's a difficult one to answer. I mean, those folks play such an important role. The influencers do on just the decisions that are going to be best for their clients, but also how that gets implemented into a job site, whether that's a remodel or new construction. And in fact, I would take it from the opposite side, saying that their role is so important, and not that they're missing anything. I think it's almost undervaluing themselves because of the importance of their role of communicating what a client wants, what's going to be best for their house, and then how that comes to life with specifications, with product locations, and so forth. That their role is extremely important. And a lot of times that's my real lifeline. At the end of the day, in builder sales, I'm still going to be working with the contractor, making sure that the installers, the professionals are getting everything installed correctly. But when I look back at a project, it's almost always the role of the designer, the architect, the influencer that was the opportunity to make sure things stayed on the right track, or to identify a problem, ahead of time. And so I guess my biggest kudos to that group, and also app for the future is just to recognize the role of their product collections and location, not just from what the client wants, but also how that is going to be implemented by the contractor, by the builder, the remodeler. And I see that often. Just had a situation actually today where the communication was dropped on a gravity drain model for an ice maker, for example, and something that here in Texas, we have a lot of concrete slabs. You're not putting in a gravity drain after the fact. And it really comes down to me sharing the information, but that influencer playing a key role in making sure that their clients are taken care of, that their questions and concerns are addressed, and then most importantly, that information is getting to the builder or the contractor.
So have you found, because you're in builder sales and you've been around pre-sale influencers, especially in the Sub-Zero Wolf showroom, a ton. At what point in the process do you like to get worked in as the salesperson? So you're going to be the appliance salesperson on the project. Like, at what point do you say to these experts that you've worked with before, when should you get looped in?
Yeah, great question. When should you get moved in? If there's a silver lining to the entire COVID situation and the crazy lead times that were attached to that, where we went from product being either immediately available or maybe a few weeks to shifting to easily 12 to 18 months, designers, architects, and builders have come to the realization that it is incredibly important to make these product selections on the early side. Also, we're seeing more and more of these manufacturers are coming in with unique product offerings, and they're not universal for fitting into an exact hole for a 48-inch refrigerator and a 36-inch range. Now it's more important than ever that these selections get made at the very beginning. In fact, more and more, the most successful jobs that I'm involved with are the ones where the influencer has brought the client in, connected me with them, and we've made selections on a new construction as the slab is being poured, or even before, or a situation on a remodel that as demolition is starting, we're making those final selections to dial it in to avoid the problems that'll tend to come up later. So to answer your question on when's the best time, now, I guess that would be the best one. And it's never too late, but it's also never too early to bring in your professional with the appliance dealer that's going to be really an integral role with the designer and with the contractor to make sure that the proper selections are made. So earlier, the better.
So, great takeaway. It's never too early to bring in your appliance sales professional to a kitchen planning process, anything with appliances. 100% agree. And I love that last one piece that you said, that was that it is a changing industry and some more unique pieces are coming in. So you're losing, there's more options for the customer that that pre-sale influencer may not be aware of. So what might you recommend to the designers, designers, cabinet planners, architects, to stay on top of some of these changes in the appliance industry?
Staying in touch with your dealer salesperson is one of the key roles. Attending events, trainings, and CEUs. Here at the Jarrell company, we're heavily involved with the design community. We host a lot of CE continuing education unit courses, but also we're here before and after. And I think that that is a key component because a lot of times these classes are very restricted in terms of what the presenter is allowed to say as it pertains to specific manufacturers, models, and so forth. So when you find yourself at your dealer, maybe that you're there for another project and you've got one in the pipeline, that's a great time to really talk to your sales professional about what are some of the new things that are coming out in the industry, where are trends going, and just what changes are there. We saw a huge shift when it came to, say, steam ovens in the last 5 to 10 years, especially. And some of those are plumbed. So making some of those early decisions: do I need a water line? Do I need a drain line? And what are customers going to come asking about? Your sales professional is going to play a key role in that. And we go through a lot of trainings. We receive a lot of information, and we can really break it down once that influencer is able to tell us, here's some general client want and needs, and here's the direction that we're leaning. And that's when a sales professional like myself can really plug in and give some guidance on things that you might not have seen on TikTok or Instagram, but stuff that's coming up down the pipeline.
Really great tips. It's not just getting in touch with your sales professional early in a project, but that'll give you opportunities to talk about future projects, what's coming out and whatnot. Love that tip, Garth.